Hey guys, good morning and welcome to our math lesson today. We are going to be switching gears, and instead of talking about money, we're going to now be talking about geometry. Geometry is a big word, but it's not a scary word. It's a fun word. I'm excited to get into geometry with you because it's talking about shapes and lines and angles, and it's just a lot of fun things that you can do with your hands. You can manipulate, you can use objects around your house. There's great ways to learn about geometry while you're at home and while we're not together. So today starts our unit on geometry. I'm excited to begin that with you. Before we begin, I do want to share a Brain Pop video with you. And this Brain Pop video is about geometry. So let's go ahead and get into that.
Stop, Moby! Didn't you see the sign? It's hard to miss. It's a bright red octagon. An octagon is a polygon that has 8 sides. What is a polygon? A polygon is a shape with at least 3 straight sides that connect. Polygons are closed shapes, which means the sides connect together. The sides of these shapes do not connect, so they are not polygons. The sides of a polygon are always straight and not curved, so these aren't polygons either. We name polygons by the number of sides they have. A triangle is a polygon with 3 sides. A vertex is the point where the sides come together. A triangle has 3 vertices. Of polygons with more sides. What are some polygons with 4 sides? A quadrilateral is a polygon with 4 sides. Right, Moby. A square is a quadrilateral. It has 4 sides that are equal or the same size. A square has 4 vertices. A rectangle is also a quadrilateral. It has 4 sides and 4 vertices, just like a square. But a rectangle has 2 pairs of equal sides. Rhombuses, parallelograms, and trapezoids are all quadrilaterals. There are a lot of other shapes besides quadrilaterals. What are some shapes that have more than 4 sides? A pentagon is a polygon that has 5 sides and 5 vertices. The Pentagon is also the name of a government building in Washington, D.C. You can see why. Moby, can you think of something else that's a pentagon? Right, some safety signs are pentagons. A hexagon is a polygon that has 6 sides and 6 vertices. Bees create nests by building honeycombs, which have 6 sides. The hexagons fit nicely next to each other, so bees can really pack them in. Can you think of something that's a hexagon? Right. On this soccer ball, the white patches are hexagons. Oh, and the black patches are pentagons. You're not supposed to play with that indoors. Moving on. A heptagon is a polygon that has 7 sides and 7 vertices. Can you think of something that's a heptagon? Cool. Some countries, like the United Kingdom, Jamaica, Mexico, and Uganda have heptagon-shaped coins. An octagon is a polygon that has 8 sides and 8 vertices. A stop sign is an octagon. Some of the tiles on our kitchen floor are octagons too. A nonagon is a polygon that has 9 sides and 9 vertices. I can't think of anything that has 9 sides. Can you, Moby? Whoa, check it out. This glass is a nonagon. I bet you can't find something that has 87 sides. That's called an octacontaheptagon.
Okay. Wow, those were a lot of polygons we just talked about and a lot of different shapes. So we are going to go ahead and start talking about some of them. Whoops, let me stop sharing. It logged me out for some reason. Let's see. Get my presentation pulled back up here. Here we go. All right, so today begins our geometry unit. And when we talk about geometry, we're gonna start talking about shapes, okay? Different shapes. Our essential question for today is how can I recognize shapes by exploring their attributes? Those are a lot of big words. What this really means is how can you figure out what a shape is by looking at its sides and looking at the points that it has. So the sides and the points, or the sides and the angles. All right, we just watched our video. Now these are some keywords that we need to know when we talk about geometry. Number one is an angle. Okay, I've got a book right here, and this book is in the shape of a polygon. It is a rectangle, but the angle are these points right here. Okay, the angle is where two sides come together and meet. So that's an angle. So with this book, we have one angle, two angles, 3 angles, and 4 angles. So 4 points, or 4 times that the sides meet. Okay, the next thing we want to talk about is the side. All right, the side is just one flat edge. Okay, so this book has 4 sides. Okay, the next thing we want to talk about is a quadrilateral. A quadrilateral. Think to yourself, what other words have the prefix quad in them? Okay, some of you might ride quads with your friends, or might have family members or have seen on TV what a quad is. A quad is a 4-wheeler. It has 4 wheels. So when we talk about a quadrilateral, quad means 4. Okay, quad means 4. So a quadrilateral is a shape that has 4 sides. So any quadrilateral is a shape that has 4 sides. And then the last word that you might need to know is a polygon. Let's look at the prefix on this word, poly. Have you ever played Monopoly before? All right, Monopoly has poly in the word. Poly means multiple. Okay, it means multiple. And so a polygon is a shape that has multiple sides. So let's look at our anchor chart and see if we can refresh our memory on some of these shapes that we have learned in the past. Now, some of these you have heard about in first grade. Some of these might be fairly new to you, or you might not remember them, but let's go through each of these. So we start with 2D shapes. We have a circle. Now a circle has no sides to it, it's round, and it has no points to it, or no vertices, okay, no angles. Then we have a triangle. Take your finger and trace the triangle on the screen and count how many sides you trace. 3. There are 3 sides. Now take your finger and point to each of the angles or vertices on the triangle. That means each of the points. You should have done that 3 times as well. Okay, now let's look at a trapezoid. This is where we get into our quadrilaterals. Take your finger and trace the sides of the trapezoid and tell me how many sides the trapezoid has. 4. Very good. So the trapezoid is a quadrilateral. It has 4 sides and 4 angles or vertices. Do the same thing for the square. Go ahead and trace the sides for me and then point to the angles or the vertices. How many sides did it have? Very good. There are 4 sides and then once again 4 angles or 4 vertices. So this is a quadrilateral, meaning it has 4 sides and 4 angles. Now do the same thing for the rectangle. Go ahead and trace the sides and point to the angles or the vertices. How many sides did it have? 4 sides again and 4 angles or vertices again. So once again, that's a quadrilateral. Quad means 4. There are 4 sides and 4 angles for those 3 shapes. Okay, let's move on down our anchor chart. Now we're getting into the more challenging shapes. I see one that's in blue. It's kind of that tealish blue color. Go ahead and take your finger and point to the rhombus for me. Trace the sides of the rhombus and then point to the angles. How many sides were there? 4. This is another quadrilateral. It is another quadrilateral. A rhombus is very similar to a square. It's just turned on its side. Now the last 2 shapes we're going to talk about are the ones that are in purple and pink. A hexagon, if you'll take your finger, you can trace those sides and then point to those angles. Okay, how many sides did you count? Good, there are 6 sides and then 6 angles or 6 vertices. So hex or hexa means 6. Now we move on to the pentagon, the last one we're going to talk about. If you'll trace those sides with your finger and then point to the points or the angles on the shape. How many sides were there? 5. So penta or pent means 5. Okay, so there's a lot of things that we're going to have to remember with this unit. This is just the introduction to it. But know that we have 2D shapes right in front of us, and that means that they're flat shapes. Each of these shapes is closed. It's a closed figure. All of the shapes on this anchor chart are a polygon except for the circle, because circles do not have sides and polygons must have sides. Okay, the last thing I want you to do before we move on to our little quiz is point to the quadrilaterals on your screen. We just talked about this. Point to the quadrilaterals. Quadrilaterals. How many did you point to? There should be 4. The square is 1, the trapezoid is 1, the rectangle is 1, and the rhombus is 1. 4 quadrilaterals. Each quadrilateral has 4 sides and 4 angles. So those are some things that I want you to try and remember. And we're going to keep working with these over the next few weeks. Okay, quiz time. You are going to need a whiteboard and a marker or a piece of paper and a pencil. You can pause this video and go grab your materials and then come back and we'll get started with your quiz. All right, now that you have your materials, let's play Name That Shape. Number 1, I want you to go ahead and write the correct answer on your board or on your piece of paper. Name that shape. Okay, go ahead and hold up what you have. So for number 1, you should have put C, circle. This is a circle. Now, I have a challenge question for you. Is the circle a polygon? Yes or no? You should have said no. The circle is not a polygon because it does not have sides. It does not have sides. All right, little trick question in there. Let's move on to the next one. Name that shape. Go ahead and write your answer on your board. Okay, hold up what you have. All right, you should have selected B, trapezoid. This is a trapezoid. Now, my question to you is this shape a quadrilateral? Yes or no? Okay, the answer is yes, because it has quad or 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. It is a quadrilateral. Okay. All right, the very next one. Name that shape. This one's tricky. Okay, show me what you got. All right, let's count the sides together. Tracing them. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. When we have 5, that is a pentagon. Letter D, a pentagon. This is the shape of the government building in Washington, D.C. called the Pentagon. Okay, Pentagon has 5. Okay, the last one, name that shape. This one's tricky too. Okay, let's count the sides together. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 sides here and 6 angles. I know it's not a pentagon. We already talked about that one. That's 5. It's not a triangle. That's only 3. It's between a hexagon and an octagon. I want you to think about an octopus. Okay, how many legs does an octopus have? An octopus has 8 legs because octa means 8. Does this shape has 8 sides? No, this is not an octagon. This is a hexagon. A hexagon has 6 sides. So hexa means 6. Okay. All right, thank you guys for tuning in to our shape introduction. I know there's a lot to learn. We will be touching on these every day this week, so don't stress, we will come back to it. I do want to show you your seesaw assignment for today. Okay. So for today, you have an assignment called Naming 2D Shapes. You are actually going to be sorting these shapes into the correct categories. So you'll take them and drag them and drop them into the correct column of what shape they are. So enjoy. It's just these emojis down at the bottom, and you're just looking at the main part of the shape. So for example, this purse, you're looking at the main shape of it. Okay. All right, hope you guys have a great afternoon, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.